How are you doing, everyone? Let's see if this works. Yep, sounds good. I can hear myself. Setup has changed again. I was at the hairdresser. Now I should be ready for today. So let's see how this works. Okay. Hey, long time no see. I hope you are well. How are you doing? Hey, the human kid. How are you? Fantastic. So we have a lot of stuff to do today. We have a lot of stuff to discuss. I've seen something that was very nice because today a Medium article, I think that was from last Friday. You are not missing the video trending. How are you? Deepak, nice to see you. Fantastic. This time we don't have so much delay. I hope this works fine. I'm very motivated and let's see what we have got. I think we have a lot of news in Flutter. For example, the Q3 questionnaire is done. I think that would be something that we can talk about quickly. So if you haven't heard about this, and I will add that inside of here. So you can also join. The Q3 of, oh, this is 2019. I think we have a new one. Is everything okay? Can you hear me? Sound is good? Yeah, here, so Flutter on the web, slivers, web platform issues. Sorry, so this is the right link in that case. I've built a plugin in Flutter. You did? Congratulations. Hey Mohammed, nice to see you. And the cool thing about these surveys is always that we get really big insights in how Flutter is doing and what are new stuff that we want to work on. And this time it seems that the most important part seems to be web, slivers and platform specific issues. And I didn't have the time yet to completely gone through, but I highly recommend you to check it out. So satisfaction and change in user base. Okay, so selected very satisfied. Nice. So still a lot of people are happy with Flutter. That's good. A lot of startup customers, and I really can imagine why, because it's amazing. Notifier plugin. Dynamic UI in Flutter Easy. All right, so let's check it out. That would be this one. And what makes it so easy? A Flutter plugin that makes state management and building dynamic user interfaces easier and more efficient. Hey Robert, nice to see you. Okay, so we will take a look later in that, but let's stick first on this news because I really like surveys and numbers. So let's crunch some numbers here. So Flutter on the web. Oh, I think I jumped somehow. Okay. So startup, because I think startups can really quickly create their own applications. And I talked with my hairdresser and even he is interested in an application for himself. So I think that is really a big business, I can imagine. So what do we have here? So another notable percentage of level of experience. Okay. So a lot of novice and intermediates, advanced and experts. I think the problem with something like that is no one who is really an expert would cross that he is an expert. Usually the people are going a little bit more down and telling that they are more advanced or something. But it's good to see that the curve of 2020 has shifted to intermediate. So a lot of people has moved and progressed in Flutter. That's fantastic. In addition, supporting mobile stable using Flutter to build web apps. About 30% say that they evaluated Flutter on the web for potential production use. I've built a demo and published a production app. Nice. So that means that web is getting more and more users. That is amazing because this will harden the framework even more in that part. Not developing at all in Flutter web. Still the half of it. And yeah, Windows, macOS and Linux is still in alpha, so I can imagine that a lot of companies still try to avoid it. Browser navigation and routing history, okay. Which of the following are most critical in create of web-like experience? Okay. Okay. Simple scroll effects, that's all good. It's the first time that I'm working with the light, and I can tell you already that it's way warmer inside of this room, which is fine. Maybe I open the window later. Yeah, so that's that. That is the first news that I got. Yeah, and what I want to do today is I want to work a bit further on our Flutter website, if you remember that. What I've seen is that if we go to flutterexplain. I think codemagic.app was the URL. You find that down in the video description. Currently, I think it's down. Is that right? Ah, no, here it comes. It just takes a while. So this was our last state where we worked on. And the problem is we decided that we need to work first on the design before we really can implement something. And it's a bit unfortunate for me because, yeah, I like to develop like every one of us, I think. But you can already see that the app is working quite well on the web, especially in the Chrome browser. And if you see that little plus icon on the top here, we can click that and we can really install that as a PWA immediately. And this is something that I really enjoy because that is amazing and it works with so many apps today. Like, for example, for YouTube Music is also working like that, so that you can use it directly online or offline. Good. So where should we begin? I see here 0 viewers, so I think my chat has been died somehow. Ah no, 16. Okay, much better. Cool. So the last time we finished this homepage super chat, so where we asked and voted for. So the idea is that our main part is on the top. I think we created this fantastic prototype in Figma. If you have never worked with Figma, I highly recommend that as a design tool. I'll share that. I hope everything is well, because my... It tells me I... Okay, you are present. That's fine, thank you. Because it looks very weird on my side. I don't know, it seems that the YouTube API has some problems. Anyhow, the idea that I had is that instead of having these placeholders, that we fit them in with some information, maybe give also some text inside, because I thought a little bit what I want to offer. And then if there is still some time, then I would like to implement something, because I have seen now like 2 weeks no code in Flutter, only React code, and it is really time that I'm coming a little bit back into the Flutter world and yeah, come and make my hands dirty, right? So that I stick on the intermediate path here. Okay. Is that for everyone okay? Or do you have other plans for today? Should we do something else? So I think I can close that. Cool. So let's go to undraw, because my idea was that we use a lot of these undraw pictures. So for example, here in this part, there could be an undraw image. And what I want to offer at the end as a consultant company is we want to give trainings. We want to give yeah, the mentorship program that I talked the last time a little bit about. And last but not least, we want to share the YouTube channel here. And also we have a blog right later. So it would be great to join there. You really try to sell your package, right? I can make a poll if you are interested more in the package, notify a plugin, rather than to create further on the website. We can also do this today. So what I will do, guys, is I will set up yeah, Geo. I think we did already quite something. As I said, this Flutter Explained website on codemagic.app is quite powerful already, and we did that with the CI/CD of CodeMagic, and they offer that stuff directly, so that you can directly share everything and so on. It's quite powerful. Okay, so back to undraw. So in order to do that, we want to take the color that we have here. So for example, the secondary or primary color. Let's take that and bring it over here. And the cool thing, if you change the color here, immediately all of these SVG files of Undraw are getting updated. But it's pretty cool because you can directly use them and you can search for everything that you need. So for example, in my case, it's training or something like maybe teaching. Teaching. It's so cool. And I think the Flutter framework has also a package for it. Yep, they are completely free, no license, completely free to use. The only thing that you are not allowed to is to sell them as they are. So that is not allowed. And here's also a package from Undraw, or with Undraw, that uses the API from them, so you can directly use it in your Flutter code. You want to do that. It's pretty cool, like that. The only disadvantage is that it's not locally on the device, so you need an internet connection, I think. Okay, but let's go. YouTube tutorial is one that I want to use later, so I also take that one. And now we need something like teaching or something like that. Professor or teaching? I think teaching, but as you can see, there is the color of this blue is a bit too dark. I think there we do it white. I think that makes more sense. And as you see, I download them as PNGs directly. Oh, I did already. How they do survive? They are a community. I think these are 2 or 3 guys, and they don't really earn money with Undraw. It's more for how do you call it? For advertising purposes. So they earn money by getting clients and so on, and this is just advertising for them, and it works pretty well. Why not downloading as SVG? It's a good question, actually. I think I can do the same and I get better quality out of it. So let's do that. Yeah. Got to change the color now. And I should getting a bit more relaxed. The stream will be long. If I'm talking so fast the whole stream, I think it will be pretty challenging. So let's get this one in SVG and the teacher one in white. These are not animations. If you are interested in the animations like we have in this part here, you can go to Lottie files. Lottie files. And they make an amazing work for any kind of animations, and you will find a lot of them for free. And if you like someone very good that makes a fantastic work, you can also ask them if they provide you and create you some animations and so on. I think you can also buy and purchase them, and the best thing is you can even edit them. So for example, if we would take this one, and let's say what is that now? We have to pay for it. I think there are also free files. So if we go to animations, yeah, this is from the community. So Ila Pavlov did this great one here. And now what we can do is we can click on edit layer colors. And it opens it up in an own Lottie editor. And now we have the possibility to change all the colors that we maybe don't like. So if I don't like what she's wearing, I can just change that here and update. So, and as you see, this is now just one layer, so her arm. But with that, I can change all of them. So if I go further and click on that, you can do that on the fly. And at the end, you can just download this file like it is. So if you take this Lottie file URL, you can just use it. And also here, the license you find completely on the bottom is just contribution by license. So that means you have to name this user in your website. It could be in the source code even. So highly recommend Lottie files. And I think also for that, because people are most likely interested, you find here, if you search for Lottie, how I find these websites, I'm looking for them. I have good friends like you who share all the time some packages with me, and I know also a lot of stuff that I'm interested in. I have a lot of experience in web design, and then after a while you collect your stuff together. So now I talked a lot. Yeah, Lottie is known and Undraw is also known, but you know, for people who don't know them, it's not known. All right, back to our website. That was a smart one. You have to remember that one. For people who don't know, they don't know, right? All right, so we have now our SVGs, and thanks to Figma, I think I can just drag and drop them. I thought I could just replace that, but it doesn't work like that, I think. Frame selection, use a mask. So this is in the vector, this is here, and inside of this rectangle I want to have this image. So you see, I'm an absolute Figma expert. As a developer, I have that not in my blood. Usually I have my designers for that. Well, let's do it this way. So this would be that. Then we have our YouTube one. Hey, we have good music today. It's great. I hope you like that too. If not, just write next in the chat. I think I can change that on the fly somehow. Move that to the side and remove this. Oh, you don't hear the music? Oh, that's sad. Bring it up a little bit, so there it is. And I think I have to replay this music because it was really good. Thanks to, I think that was Contrascenta Dividers. Good. I don't want that it's too annoying if I'm talking, so usually I make it very low, that I just hear it, because I cannot work without music. That's not possible. So that's this, and what I thought the last time is that this would be a good idea with the testimonials in between. The only problem that I have with that is I have at the moment free offerings that I can do, and I think it's currently just in the way. Is it better now? Yeah, perfect. I think we can move that out for now. Bring this a little bit up, and I think this should be a 50, yeah. But 50 is way too big. All right. And yeah. Yes, at the moment they are fixed, that is correct, because I start with the normal website layout, so how it should look at the end. But of course you're right, if we want to work later, we have to provide different screen sizes for them. The question is how much work we want to set inside. So for that you can just add here these nice little screens. And with these screens you can access, for example, the iPhone. And what we would have to do there is implement all these stuff inside of our iPhone to get the correct part. To be honest, I have not made so many ideas yet about responsiveness of the website. We will see later. Because what I do at the moment is, because we had a lot of problems with our website in general, I'm working currently on a new real website, so something that we can put online, because the problem here is... Okay, somehow I lost now. Spooky. Okay, let's check it out once more. So the Flutter explained.dev website. Yeah. They are just gone away, I don't know. Alright. Let's move the whole thing. Let's hope that this works. Okay, so at the moment I'm working on the flutterexplained.dev website, which is a WordPress website. And so I had to make some ideas how it could look in the future. And so the design will align a little bit with that and vice versa. So we will try to replicate that on Flutter at the end. And we will work with both simultaneously, because my idea is that we have one that as soon as Flutter web is so far that we can access SEO and all the other benefits, then we will completely transfer to a Flutter website. And until then, the website should be ready. So that's the idea. Yes, absolutely. In both cases, SVG is the master race in everything. Dynamic code pushing. What is dynamic code pushing? What do you mean with that? Oh yeah, CI/CD is something very good, and we use that for this website already. That is code magic in the part. And to the question once more for SVGs and PNGs. SVGs are just the informations how the paths will go. So you can access it like a lot of X and Y informations to get paths for roundings, corners, edges, and so on and so forth. While PNGs, it contains color information for each pixel in the image. So with that, an SVG is getting calculated and can be resized indefinitely without getting pixely. And this is the big benefit of a SVG, the first one. And the second one is the file size can be very small, but the image size that comes out of it could be very big. How are you? I'm very well, Amish. Nice to see you. So now I want to get this back. Yeah, perfect. So I hope the sound is this time a little bit better, because I heard the last time that my voice was not clear for everyone. It was a bit sad for me. Good. Yep. So. Prototype inspect. So. No, absolutely not. My native language is German, which is amazing because German sounds so harsh that nobody wants to talk with me in general. And you know, Germans are very strict and direct, and I always learn that on the hard route, because if I'm talking with English people, I'm usually like, yep, let's work this and this and that. And they want like, yeah, how was your day? Are you happy today? Thank you. And when I was in America, they told me all that I'm coming from the southern part of America. I was like, nah, not really. Undraw, exactly. So we need one for browse, relaxing at home, close enough, weather app, collaboration, chatting. You know a bit Deutsch? Very well. That you know that Germany is Deutschland is very well already. Yes, I managed it with the light stand. I can show you maybe. So let's move that a bit around. Can you see that? Yeah. It's quite bright, and the cool thing is I can change. Is that good? Let me move that up again on that side. So it was a bit shaky, sorry for that. You listen to German music? Oh, you a poor guy. It's like watching German movies. It's stuff that you can't do. It's a bit dark, yeah, that's true. What I can do or try is I can try the following. Oh, that was the wrong one. I can make it a bit yellowish. And I could turn on the light if you want. So is it better now? Can you see me? Hey. So. Okay, yeah, I usually hear some German rap, but it needs to be a good one. Or Rammstein, of course, but well, I'm not into cliches. And I think what I want to have is something like mentor or learning. With white light, okay, so let's make Oh, that's a bit too light, or I'm looking like a graveyard. So, how about disco? disco. Oh, speaker. I completely forgot about that. I'm a speaker. So maybe we should also add that as an idea. Huh. Thank you for subscribing, Gatwatch. Nice to see you here. To Eisbrecher? No, never heard. Ooh. I have to be a bit careful, not that I get claimed. Ooh, I had today a very interesting topic because I was on YouTube and got an information that someone completely copied my video. So 1-to-1. Even the logo was copied. It was crazy. I couldn't imagine it. Or couldn't believe it, to be honest. I will do, thank you. Yes, correct. If you want to use an SVG, you have to use the package, I think Flutter SVG, exactly. It has unbelievable lot of likes. It has also some flaws, so you will get some problems sometimes, especially on the internet, on the web, and that could be a problem. I didn't do 3 strikes if they see, so that was an automatic search of YouTube, and you could really see that 100% of it was my video. And what happened then is that YouTube itself started a complaint against them and blocked the video and moved the link to my video back. It was quite interesting. But it was my first time, so, you know. Getting always a bit nervous if I see something like that, because, yeah, I'm completely fresh in the topic. And then it's very interesting how everything works out at the end. Ooh. You retracted the message, can't read it, sorry. Hey, Gatewatch. Well, I don't even know if we start today with Flutter itself to get into Flutter development. It's more talking about Flutter and designing on the other hand, because, yeah, still have to do a lot of work there. But, yeah, maybe we come into it, I hope really. Nairobi. We wanted to go to Kenya some years ago, but we didn't manage it, unfortunately. What do we have here at this part? So the question is now, should I write already the content here inside, or should we leave that out for now? I think we should, or let's make the design really as good as possible. I think that makes sense, just to make it cool looking. So what do you think about the general design? Do you like it, or is it too dark, or how is your feedback? Wow, you really think that React has 50% of the market share? Works. PHP, ASP, Express, Ruby on Rails. Really? This is the frameworks of the web? I wouldn't assume that. PHP, Visual Studio? Nah, that can't be. Here we go. So React is bluish. No, it's just the ranking. Okay, sorry. I think it is already, because I think Flutter has only React Native as a real threat, or as a real cross-platform, how do you call it? Real cross-platform competitor. And I think they fight each other, the only ones who are working on that space. I think Xamarin and Ionic and how do you call them, they are all that far behind in this technology. And if Flutter does the job with getting into web and desktop, I think that will make a hard time for all the other parts. The only problem, yeah, that's true, Deepak. It is coming. So the idea from Flutter, a lot of the concepts comes from React, and they used it. But I think yeah, I think I saw something that in the last was it from IntelliJ? I think IntelliJ survey, mobile app development. Check if this was the one. Yeah, here, state of the developer ecosystem. I'm so good. I have still the stuff in the head. So you see the programming languages, and there was somewhere the mobile frameworks. Here we go. And you can see that React Native is at 42% and Flutter is already at 39%. So, and this is from this year. So this is new. This is something valid, and also, how do you call it? A relevant survey? Yeah. So where we are, is there a future in Flutter? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I hope so, because I bet on it. But you will see a lot of high talks about, is Flutter really good or is it not good? I can tell you only that it is a fantastic cross-platform development tool, and I really like to develop in it. And if you work in it, you will really early figure out that you really like it quickly. What I heard a lot is that I think the tech lead has made some crazy good videos about and started a discussion if Flutter is dead already. So I also recommend you to take a look there, this guy, because first of all, he's pretty famous, and the second part is he makes some good points at the end. So don't just go inside and blame him that he is stupid or anything. Just try to figure out what he is telling and try to identify the flaws and the problems with that. And yeah, so it's not really advertising, it's just have a look, make your own opinion, because this is the most important part, right? Use your brain. Flutter is the future. Yeah, I think for mobile apps it's pretty far, and also for web I really like to use it, because I was never a fan of JavaScript itself, or I was a big fan but I lost it. I don't feed the truth. You're most welcome. Why are there less jobs as Flutter developer? Let's search for React. When was it? Release date, or 1.0 release date. Here we go. So React is how old? 2012. It was in the news feed already. So there it started. Let's say 2011 it started. Now let's check Flutter release date. 1.0, and I can tell you it was 2018. So that is the reason. Companies have always a little bit of a transition time. They need to get trust into a technology before they jump onto it. Usually startups making the first moves, and later the enterprise customer comes. And that is very important, because enterprise customers, they need stability, they require that, and they want to plan for the next 10 years maybe. So usually it's getting way harder into the enterprise customers to bring it into the big community to get also more jobs for this community part. But on the other hand, you see, I did my own job. I started with Flutter developing here on this YouTube channel. So also this is possible. Create your own job at the end. So I can highly recommend you that. Easier to use, I would say Flutter. More convenient, I would say Flutter. More stable, I would say Flutter. I'm pretty happy with Flutter. That is the problem. If you try to create a list view, for example, in React Native, you will write some code and you have to understand a lot of concepts. While in Flutter, you just use the list view widget, and the best thing of it is it directly takes care of lazy loading, for example. So I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. And the best thing is, of course, typed language, not TypeScript type. You can do it or you can leave it. It is a typed language. You have to write a string as a string. You cannot do just whatever you like, and I like restrictions, so that's why I'm happy with that. Ooh. Hey, you bring me a lot to talk today. What is wrong? Yeah, I think Flutter team is amazing on that. Cool, sounds great, Sereja. Give us a link if you are done to something. I know YouTube videos are not that easy to do, so let me know if you have something created. By the way, we have some talks with some external people who are working on YouTube channel videos and creating better videos, and we can improve that. So maybe we get better videos in the future. Hey Manu, nice to see you. So I will now answer for further minutes some questions, and after that I will work a bit on the website if this is okay. So, sir, what is the difference between Riverpod and Provider? There is a huge difference. How can I explain it? Well, Riverpod is using Provider, and what you mean is more the Provider package, I assume. So you still have the core concept of providers in the background, but in the end you use a complete own package, and this package makes the usage of providers way easier. So they have two complete different approaches of using providers, and I highly recommend you to just read the fantastic API documentations of Riverpod, because he did a fantastic job in creating a great documentation for it. So I think it's, yeah, this one. Yeah, I think I like Riverpod a little bit more, and the core reason is because it is typed again, so you cannot do something wrong actually. Yeah, that's a good point. Recycler view, list view on Android. Yeah, I hear that this should be pretty hard. But, yeah. That's not a very good answer, I think. If there is no class complexity, I'm not really happy with it, because that is exactly what I want to have in something like a package of provider. Or making UI with Flutter. That sounds amazing if you have there some knowledge, because this is one thing that I really lack. That is, I don't have so much experience in native development. I'm coming from a web development part, and I can tell you a lot of things about Angular, React. I can tell you about Vue.js and all the state management parts. I can talk about observables and go on and go on. But I have no real mobile development experience, so I'm coming more from the other side. So this will be something that I want to change in the future. So next year or so, I want to start a series where we learn maybe Swift or Kotlin, and maybe really work on an Android app in Kotlin, just to understand how the core concepts work and what Flutter really does better. And then do maybe exactly what you planned, like a comparison video about, hey, what is better, and maybe even what is worse? Is there a difference? Are there problems? I mean, the performance, it is not, right? Plant app React Native. You could try that. Let's check for the video. Plant app React Native. This guy. Speed code. Decode? Is that you? Or there are a lot of planned code, so... The first one? Wait, sorry. This one! React UI kit. So, wait. Oh, so many tabs today. Kotlin and Swift, that sounds good. Yeah. And then we can maybe make a tutorial or something about Swift and Kotlin. And then I have to change my YouTube name to Kotlin Explained or something. But let's see. No worries, Human Kid. I understand if you are proud on something that you have done, that's amazing. I can imagine. Okay. So what I want to do is, because I started with the most texts already, I would like to take that from the website immediately. Then I can just copy paste them over. I think that would be the easiest approach. So this is that. Yep. And instead of having this gray bar, it would be just this. And I think for the font sizes, for the age types, we decided for Passion 1. Yep. And I think I have to increase the font size here to, let's say, 36. Fantastic. Do I have a design guide? No. Do I need one? Can you explain state management in Flutter? I have created a video for that already, I think. So if you search for YouTube, Flutter explained state management, I think, then you will be... Oh yeah, look, this guy. Up. So let's... You can check that out here. Do you have a design guide? As I said, I don't really have one. Figma is actually a pretty cool tool, and I really like that because it has so much stuff to do. So my design guide is actually you, all of you, and the colors that I created in it beforehand so that we have them in place. And now I try to create a website that follows this guideline more or less, and yeah. We can try that with the less bold, yeah. The problem is, oh, on the other hand, looks quite good, I think. Oh. Why web developer count is way bigger than mobile? What I would say is that it is, and now I'm getting into a dangerous field, but what I heard from several studies is that web development takes usually about 4 times the amount of the time than mobile or any other technology. Even desktop things are way easier to implement than web. And the problem is about web that, first of all, it is a strong, the strong typing is missing. So I think you have a lot of problems with refactoring and improvement. And the second part that I assume is that if you take a look into what web development is everything, it's crazy, right? You have mobile because you have to take care of this, right? So responsive design as a factor. Then you have different screen sizes from the iPad till everything else. And another part is in a lot of big companies, they work usually with web applications. That means they have a server in their home or something, in their home base, and they all work against that one with the intranet and so on. And I assume these applications really need more attention, so it is usually not the case that people are going to work on their phone. Usually they work on a browser. And so I assume there comes the multiple ways to it. I see right now that this is very pixelish. Flutter WordPress API JSON parsing. Very specific. You know what? I will take that into my... Or can I ask you to do that? I think I have a documentation somewhere on Google Docs. Let me check if I have that here. No, of course not. Why should I? That would be... I check it out on the other screen quickly. And there I have my open video doc. And so it would be great if you could add that there. Find that quickly. You're most welcome. As I said, I really like to discuss that stuff with you guys. I mean, that's what we are here, right? We want to learn from each other. Oh. Get the link. Copy link. Here we go. And here is the link. And I just put that as into the video description. POP or OOP, which side are you more leaning towards? What a great question. I had this discussion the last time with a friend of mine. Well, I am a usual developer, right? So what I learned in university is OOP is great, do OOP, it is the most important stuff. If you don't know what OOP stands for, it's Object-Oriented Programming. And POP, I have no idea, actually. Didn't know that this is a programming style. Pop is music. Or paradigm would be, yeah. So what is the right object interface, blah blah blah, alright. Imperative, procedure. Procedural, I assume. Procedure-oriented programming. Thank you. So, and yeah, what I usually do, I keep my classes stupid, and usually I take a approach where I try to use the procedure-oriented programming language benefits and try to connect them with OOP, because usually my customers always try to push on OOP, and this is, yeah, my approach. So that means I have usually very stupid classes that just reflects how my real work looks like. For example, I have a car, and I usually use controllers and so on and try to not use getters on the model classes. Yes, I have encountered it a lot. In the worst case, you have to make a restart of your computer, Lucius. It's just because you have somewhere a Flutter command running and it is not finished yet. Absolutely, yeah. Especially because it is, yeah, just the right way to do it. In the beginning it felt a bit weird because especially if your co-workers are all working in the old pattern and they all tell you how great object-oriented programming is and that is the only way to do it and so on. And you start something new, you usually get some problems, you know, especially in bigger companies. Most welcome, Lucius. So let me copy this here. Okay, that's not the trick. So what I want to do actually is, yeah, let's get this and like that. Bring that down here. And for the normal text, we have decided, I think, for Montserrat. Okay. Montserrat. No. Okay, cannot write. Montserrat, okay. And I think, what is this size? 32, that's a bit too large, I assume, for this text here. That looks quite good. Get your Flutter training. Yep. So, I should open this chat again. Best Flutter WordPress API. To be honest, I didn't even consider to use WordPress Flutter API. What I thought more is to get something like Storyblock. This makes sense. That calls a headless CMS. So you can make your content in this part and then you use that as inside of your Flutter app. And I think there is, for example, for Storyblock, there's already a package. On the other hand, I don't know how good it is maintained. So this guy has 2 likes, 2 popularity, okay. But there are also alternatives to Storyblock, so you can just check it out, and there are some where the headless CMS is very helpful. But more than often the code isn't reused. Yeah, depends, I think. It highly depends on which team you have and how it is implemented and how the team works together for this stuff. Can I copy style of something? Copy and paste, copy properties. Where are we here? Get Flutter training, and where is the button underneath of it? No. Yeah. So this is this rectangle and sky. Oops. These three can be also here. Ah, you are already cool. Teacher image undraw. Okay, that didn't work. Hey, thanks for subscribing, OEM125 Garage. Can be a little tricky, yeah, I can imagine. I hear that the WordPress API in general is not amazing. And I have to be careful because I know a lot of people who are working there, so... If Glenn is watching at the moment, some greetings to him. So, semi-bold in Montserrat. Semi-bold. Ah, way better. Oops. That's good. So, how much space do we have? 8, that sounds perfect. And here 18, that sounds not so good. 12. Way better. Good. This is my Flutter training button. I think Figma provides also a translator to Flutter, and I think it doesn't has any widgets. You can just download and use. I think I have that on my main. How can I go back? Okay, let's check by going to figma.com. I think you can copy there the material IO part. Can I go back to my account somehow? Libraries? Nope. References, triple plugins. Back to files. Ah, here. So if you check, you have this material baseline design. And is that everything? Okay. Not that great, but it has more like this files where you can check out the whole material part. Maybe this one? Hey, thank you for subscribing, Hamza. Nice to see you. Yeah, so here, for example, you have all the components of material design and then you can just use them. And it's always a very good idea if you want to align with material or with, what is the one? Cupertino, I think? With the Cupertino design from Apple. Storyblock, fantastic. 100 WordPress sites as part of my day job, okay. That sounds like a pretty terrifying job, especially with all the plugins, and I can imagine that a lot of customers are not very careful with their websites. If an ML model comes that automates a developer job, well, I would say then I should search a new job. Maybe I go pepper collecting or something, I don't know. Then I am not necessary anymore. On the other hand, even then, I think I can, I mean, if a machine would take my job, that would be amazing. Then I can talk about machines that taking my jobs. But cannot tell you anything about ML models because I'm really bad with machine learning and I don't know the progress where we are at the moment. But I heard Elon Musk wants to create chips to bring them into our brain, so maybe we are all sooner or later not necessary anymore, so who knows? But I'm very positive with that, because if I imagine that, let's assume all jobs have been gone on the world, that would be a pretty cool world if we have enough food, of course. Because that would mean that nobody has to work for and could live their creative life, so that would be the best possible outcome of that, I assume. Of course, nobody knows if this works like that, but I'm optimistic. You don't think it will take over? Who knows? Who knows? Fantastic, that's amazing, Koi. Is Koi correctly? I think so. Yeah, I think to automate stuff in WordPress is the most important thing ever, because when I started with the first time with WordPress, you needed to write everything. Even the installation took ages. I think they made huge progress with that already, and if you can really get this plugins and everything automated inside, it's brilliant. Yeah, I heard about a cool plugin the last time. Quokka was the name, yeah. So I didn't even know that this exists. I want to really take a deep a look if this would be something to use in the future for me, because it gives you live feedback and so on. I couldn't get already a look into it, but it would be the first step into something like AI guided development. Yeah, I could imagine that it will support also designers and so on very early already. And I think like Ubisoft has already AI in workplaces where they find bugs for them, so it seems to be not that far away. Was it Ubisoft? Let me check. Ubisoft AI development. Yep, I think here it was LaForge. It's quite interesting what there is everything up. GitHub Actions. Well, GitHub Actions is a CI/CD tool, I think, right? And I think for Flutter it has still some flaws. It's not that easy to use. Let me check. Ah, not logged in. Let me check on the other browser. Move that over. I don't know if it has improved in the meantime, but the last time when I worked with it, okay, I somehow cannot move the stuff around. So let us check. So let's, for example, take our Flutter Explained website here that I can share with you, of course. Oops. Let's do it here, where you get all the numbers. Okay, so here we have the actions part, and here we can create this workflow, right? And if I set up this workflow, search the marketplace for Flutter. Oh, we have a Flutter runner. It sounds new. I think I used that one the last time. Don't know if this is getting updated still. No idea. Yeah, but I hear that a lot of people have still some problems with it because it only covers the building of the app, but it's not the deployment, and the deployment part is way heavier. So at the moment, the most people are still joining, I think, to good old Code Magic for that. Whew. So Let's bring the right texts over. Oh. So. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, close enough. Oh. Perfect. So. Yeah. Code Magic, yeah, Code Magic is fantastic. I don't know, that's they did such a great job in their stuff, and I had also the opportunity to work a little bit with them. They are really professional. Highly recommend that. Like that. And I think for individual developers, you get like 500 build minutes free or something. It's quite powerful. And yeah. So what was the idea with the last one? Ah, yeah, Flutter Speaker. Ah, on that edge, I will be on the Cross-Platform Development Summit 2020, so don't forget to join there. It's going about the beautiful world of Flutter testing. It's at the 13th of November this year. And I don't have any text for that, so it sticks like it is now. So. It's funny, I'm now since 7 years a developer, I assume, but I have never had the chance to create myself a portfolio. So it's the first time that I'm really actively working on a website, so that's also possible. I should scale the things up. Okay. The element's looking too small. So at the moment this is 420 at height. Do you think that is too small? Yeah, I hope the best. So... oh, again the mistake with that stuff. Bring them all down here. I'm always careful with scaling up, because what sometimes happens is that I'm working on a very large screen here and maybe it just looks the way, you know. But you are right, maybe I'm wrong here. Oops. This image is not part of the offering too. Good. So now we should have this part here, home super chat. Exactly. We have the navigation part component, and we have the about us. Don't know what this does here. I think we want to get rid of the whole top part here, because this is anyway the part that we want. I think that was for the prototype. If we scroll that, it's going away. Thank you, Diego. Is it a plugin? I assume so, right? So if we... Ah, look at that. So we have there even something. Flutter on CodePen, really? Let's check that out. I want to try that now. I click on the homepage. I click on plugins, Figma to something, Flutter on CodePen. And now we copy the whole thing to the clipboard. Isn't it beautiful? So much containers. And my browser broke. Oops. Okay, things happened. Okay. Yeah, I think it works very well for small components, not for the whole screen. So if I would use, for example, just that part, I think that could work a little bit better. Let us try that, just as an example. Can I remove all that stuff, or? Okay, it seems not to be very successful today. Maybe if we go smaller? But I mean, then it makes not so much sense anymore, right? Oh well, we tried it. Maybe it's also here CodePen that doesn't work well here. Fernando Ferrari. Oh, I want to change something. That's interesting. If I copy paste the stuff, then automatically another user is here in place. Flutter perspective on making 2D games. I know that there is a fantastic package as called, I think it is Fire or Flare. Flare is the name. Flare. Flare. Flame Flare. I don't flame. Thank you guys. Best community ever. Flame it is. Yeah. Thank you. Flame or flare. Something like that. I played a bit with that around. I also followed a fantastic tutorial. I think there is a flame tutorial for Flutter where you create like a smashing flies game or something like that. Not this one. So you can see some of the links are already visited. And he created a mobile game with that, and I was pretty impressed, to be honest. But he told, or he writes also in the first parts of the tutorial, that it is not for free. So to develop a game in Flutter at the moment is a lot of stuff that needs to be done under the hood that you usually would take care an engine for. So you would use, for example, Unity or something. And I think at the moment I would more recommend to create a game with Unity or something, because because they have the better engine at the moment. But yeah, give it a try. I mean, why not? Was it here? Everything has to start somewhere. Blah 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 blah. Load of text. Blah 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 blah. More text. No, don't find it anymore. Or Godot. Yeah, Godot I also tried. It's a little bit different. Yeah. But I know what you want to do, right? I think you cannot work in Unity or Godot with Dart, or Godot? Dart? Cannot imagine that they have Dart support. Yeah. Or? Already proposed and still don't see the reason to implement that. The only argument is that it may bring Flutter users to Godot. Yeah. but we don't really care that much. Okay, so thank you for that, Goddard. Amazing solution for that. Yeah, so if you want to work in Dart, it's getting a bit difficult, I think, because no real game engine supports that. Hey Vitor, nice to see you in the Flutter community, Flutter Explained community, and most probably also in the other one. I'm talking too much again, sorry. So let's take this, increase it. Oh, that's the wrong one. I want to clone this one. I think there should be something easier. I think if I'm pressing this. Ah, so if you press Alt, you have the possibility to copy directly an object in Figma. I think we leave that open for now because... Yeah. Okay, and the last part that I want to offer is mentorship. So let's go to the undraw part. Mentor, don't know, mentee. Learning. Knowledge. Online learning. The road to knowledge. Yeah, I think road to knowledge sounds valid for now. Color is still good, yep. Have you created already a 2D game? Because what I know is that it is way harder than everyone expects. Because, yeah, out of obvious reasons, I assume. Nah. I think this doesn't work. Looks empty compared to the others. I think let's try the knowledge one. And last but not least, the learning one. Hey mate, how are you doing? Hope you're well. Yep. Fantastic. Jumbo 19.7. Is that something that I should know? Jumbo 19.7. Or if you are born 19.7, but I think that would be pretty old. Jumbo Brown, baseball player. Okay. And this is the way, because I'm not American, I think. Right-hand Major League Baseball relief pitcher. Okay. Is that your way that you want to tell me with your name? Okay, so. And what we have here is my mentorship program, and then I can... I don't know, Lorem Ipsum. I think there's a fantastic website that also called Lorem Ipsum, and you have the possibility to generate some Lorem Ipsum text. If you don't know what that is, it's just text that makes no sense and just fills barriers. You can add here, for example, paragraphs, can say you want one and generate, and then you get one nice paragraph of stuff. Just if you want to mock something and show your customers how it could look. Feature. Oh, let's do the Figma on the first part. Sense. So. Bit too big. Sorry for that. We need snippet for Lorem Ipsum in VS Code. Flutter. There is most likely an extension for that. I think there is even an IntelliJ extension. Yeah, here we go. So no worries. guys from Visual Studio have you covered. And I think for IntelliJ you had the same thing. So plugin and lorem ipsum. But it has a better name, dummy text generator. Okay, so here's the other one. Clicked again. Here. I think I should close that off. Fantastic. So that would be something like join the mentorship program. Oh, and additionally I found a fantastic possibility to learn Flutter Dart code if you want to, and also some machine learning concepts which I was very interested in. Wait a second, I'll show you in a sec. So, what's that? If you go to code, Gaiman is the name, and I was really impressed from it. Thank you, Human Kid, that you think so much about me. Fantastic. Oh, and lorem ipsum, yeah. Thank you, Deepak. Generator. Ipsum. Lorem ipsum.net. Lorem ipsum IO. Lorem ipsum DE. Info. But yours is different, so what is yours? Loripsum.net. Oh, it's also one. Okay, so there are multitude of things. I think yours is better. How about this IO one? Ooh, it has animations. Yeah, so I just shared this one. I think one of them will do. Begun, can be done. Fantastic, can be done. Good. Flutter explained. Guy. It's pretty cool to start with the mentorship program finally. I really worked a long time on how we can implement all that stuff and bring that to life, and finally we managed it to have a program out of it with a Discord channel and separation and parts of people who can join in and so on. I really hope that someone is interested. Okay, so we have that. This part looks pretty decent, I think. You told, is it better now with the scaling, or do you still think it's too small? I think if we have all that implemented, we are pretty far already. And then I see up here there's something missing because we have the services about us, but the most important part is missing, and this is our block, because there are already some block entries inside, right? So let's check out how we can implement that. Move that a little bit to the right. No, or better, I think the block would be the most important part, right? So, like that. So this. The cool thing is about Figma, for example, I created here a component. If you make a right click on multiple selections, so let's assume we would select these three, I could create a component out of it. And after that, all the components behave the same. So if I move something around here, all the components where it is used, which is at the moment just here, will update automatically from it. So this works also with Adobe XD, for example, and there it works the same way. So there would be a block. And that's also part of here. Oops. So, and my idea is that we move now from that part to a blog page. Can I not rename it? Ah, I have to rename it here. So blog page. And you're right, I will catch some water quickly, so I will be back in 5 till 10 minutes. And then I can also take a brief and go on the bathroom or to the bathroom. Thank you for keeping up with me so long, and we see us in 5 till 10 minutes. Enjoy.
Missing you would always know. You believed in me when I needed you. You believed in me. Thoughts go to the darkest space. Distracted from what we're meant to do. You'd shine the light to end my hate. You'd shine your light to end my hate.
Shining on a cloudy day, and it don't matter what you say, 'cause even if the sky is falling, I'ma do it anyway. So save your worries, slide your loving. I can feel that good things coming. Finally believe that it's gonna be a bright one here. There's nothing wrong on the horizon, but I'm always in my own head. Yeah, I was getting tired of trying, forgetting every word that I said in all those old conversations that turned into a melody. I'll be waiting for autumn days ahead of me. Those words that put me under are never coming back again. I like my beat with some soul, I like my girl with some heart. I only love with my whole, I don't know how to give part. I don't know how we gon' finish, but I love how we done start. So let's take a night to just be who we are. So I ain't got the time or the energy, unless it's towards a goal or a memory. And to be doing things that I don't really love, only light I had was coming from the sun. But now I'm shining on a cloudy day, and it don't matter what you say, 'cause even if the sky is falling, I'ma do it anyway. So save your worries, slide your loving. I can feel that good things coming. Finally believe that it's gonna be a bright one here.
day I got a light one, yeah. Never not that it a tight one, yeah. No, I keep it 100 every time I come in trouble. No, we coming with the right ones, yeah. 35 can't play, get a bag on ya. Never with the games, put a tag on ya. I ain't getting lit cause my future too bright. Joey hit me up, I said this is on site. No, it's too nice. No ops, no lights, doing heights that we never hit before, and I'm feeling too high. Gotta roll like a road on. Major difference, this a platinum and a gold songs. Whoa, oh, you already know. I can make your life a push start, press go. Say we're off to a good start, let's smoke. Blew the brains off the coupe, baby, explode. Yeah.
Shining on a cloudy day, and it don't matter what you say. Cause even if the sky is falling, I'ma do it anyway. So save your worries, slide your loving. I can feel that good things coming. Finally believe that it's gonna be a bright one here. Hey, let's move it back. Sing together. Hey. Shining on a cloudy day, and it don't matter what you say. Cause even if the world is ending, I'ma do it anyway. So save your worries, slide your loving. I can feel that good things coming. Finally believe that it's gonna be a bright one here.
Here I am, don't try to make a fool of myself. Opening up, but I'd rather keep the things unsaid. Don't blame me.
Perfect.
I don't blame you.
Oh, I turned off the light. That was not a good idea.
Been afraid of the dark.
So, hey, welcome back. I read already. Thank you, Seraj, for the idea of just join now. And I think we should capitalize them, or looks maybe better. No, too harsh. Stuff like that. That's a good thing if you are working with a design, because then you can change things very easily without going into source code. What have I done? Ah, this has also a content block. That's weird.
I can see it from the outside, tell me from the inside. And I'll never let these go. Here's a word for the one who never speaks the truth. Listen now, everyone is here for you. Don't be afraid to let me in. Let me open up your heart.
Perfect. So, where have we stopped? Mentorship program. Okay, so this part is living now. And now let's go to our block pattern. So I don't know if you remember my old website when I started. I think it still looks the same. So if we take a look here, and see if I click on block at the moment, we will moving to this website here. And as you see, it looks ugly. And because of the hacker attacks from the old website, a lot of things are missing and so on and so forth, I know. But we will work on that. We get better there. Fantastic question. I'm using both. It highly depends on what I'm working on. My Windows computer is a very big machine, down from, I think, for 3 years. It was one of the newest ones. And the MacBook at the moment is quite simply just here for how do you call it, decoration reasons, so it looks good on my desk. But usually I'm working on both devices depending on what is necessary right now. And that's also a cool feature of Figma because it's browser based and also I think cross-platform. You can use it in all your applications. I think I can also get the desktop application here. And yeah, if I had to code, I can also do that in both. So we have IntelliJ installed on both, and I think Android Studio I have the same. Yeah. And hopefully PowerShell is also happy with Flutter at the moment. So let's have a look. Of course I use FVM. Yeah. So what we can do in the meantime is Flutter upgrade. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know how it is with you, but somehow whenever I execute Flutter upgrade, I get an upgrade. There is no possibility for that. Okay, so back to this one. Let's call this our blog page. And we wouldn't have all that stuff, I think. This would be also gone. Go. Oops. Oh, that's a good point. So that seems that this image is not part of anything. Yep. So what I will do is give that correct names, like this is offering free and offering 4. Oh, I forgot to add the light to the to our gear. It's a good point. I think this one is too much. And I think the order is somehow weird. Should be down here. 1. Max, what have you done? 1, 2, 3. And the interesting part is that at the moment our room is getting too small with all the stuff because we have so much YouTube equipment. It's getting slowly a bit too big for everything. I mean, also here with the light now, my desk looks like I would make rocket science. Okay, so back to here. We have our block and how we have it at the moment? Nope. I lost it somehow. Oops. Sorry, I pressed a bad button. I'm sorry for that. I wanted to check something else because the last time I got demonetized out of no reason, and now I pressed the button where the money symbol was on and I thought I get to the monetization block. Sorry for that. Didn't want to do that. No, all good. You know, that's a problem if you are new to this YouTube stuff. Okay, so what we want is that this block part, we can do that on prototype, I think, and I can select this and I can just drag it over. And if well, it has a lot of functions, but if I play now, we should be able to see all the stuff, right? So we can scroll here. Yeah, looks quite successful. And if I click on the block part, yeah, the empty screen is there. Perfect. Okay, so what I will do now, before I start going further, I would like to make a vote with you guys. Let me check. Builds a mechanism to build iOS apps through Windows. Would Apple object it? Yes, indeed it would. Especially because you use a lot of technologies that I think Xcode is using. So you would get some problems there, I think. So, where is it? Here, I think? No. What? At long time no, how do you call it? question? No, vote, poll anymore, so it's time. Should we write some code or more design? Question mark. Option code, command code, or design. So the poll would be that we work on we code. That would mean that we try to create this website now with Flutter and start a little bit of writing code, which I haven't done a long time now. So I would most likely start with the footer because it looks completely different to what we wanted to do. And the other part would be that we stick on the design, and I'm still trying to answer all the questions that are coming in. Really, you think that the Flutter team is working on creation for iOS applications on Windows machines? I think they have a lot in their policies and terms, so I could imagine that this wouldn't be a good idea. Android Studio V1, and I don't have the plugins installed. That sounds not about right. Let me check. In the meantime, you can poll. As I said, you can try it. Maybe I'm wrong. Just make sure that you read the licensing of the stuff. Oh, Mahtab. It's so beautiful that you are here and joined us today. And yes, you are. But thank you for trying, and so I can include it. Ah, perfect. Debug, understood. And you confused other people. Well done. Okay, code. Everyone wants to see code. Am I really the only one who enjoys that whole coding and designing stuff? Aww, a bit disappointed. So let's see. In the meantime, I can start here everything and check it out already, because the voting seems to be quite clear. Oops. Android Studio, Streamlabs, all good, perfect. Close this. I think we can close this. We have them all on our part. Oh no, we need Figma, but we have that now on desktop version, right? Yeah, fantastic. So, up. Yeah, Apple shouldn't do a lot of things, but I think they are pretty fast with objections. Oh, that looks also pretty funky. And that's that. Classic. Close. Go away. Up. There are a lot of updates. Yay! Update now. So should be fast. Let's hope the best. Nope. I think I updated last week or something. So it's currently in the old version 4.0, I think. Let me check Toolbox. Oh no, it's updated already. It's the North America. Okay, I don't know if this is true. Yeah, I think when I started with, I only have a Mac because of Mahtab, actually, because she started to work with it and she showed me how beautiful it is to work with it. And before it, when I was a student, I wanted to work on apps like everyone else, and I worked on an Android app, but I decided to not work in any kind with Apple together because they wanted €100 to start even deploying something on their stuff. And then I said, nope, you will not get any money from me to just do something like that. I mean, at the end, it's not a good idea and you don't earn money, and that suddenly, yeah, it's just wasted. Yeah, I could ignore it, but I have to admit I am more happy if everything's updated. So it's a good timing. I know, some time to wait and enjoy the music. Also another part, I don't know, are you interested even still in the Dart coins that I'm sometimes working on? I don't know if you still remember them because it's a long time ago when I worked with them. Did I close Chrome completely? That was a mistake. So, GitHub. Dart coins. So to learn Dart code, I created these coins. And I had a lot of fun to do that. And maybe it would be amazing to do that again. But I don't know if you are interested in something like that. It's pure Dart in that case. So I don't know if you... Yeah. If you don't know coins, you solve problems and answers in the different chapters, and you learn the program language by working with tests and fixed tests. It's quite useful to get into that stuff. So you can see it's automatically updating. You can also run this terminal, of course, in PowerShell or anything else. I wouldn't put my hand in fire that Flutter is getting introduced in a university. I know it from my university where I was, and they still teach Java. And in web development, I think they still teach JPAs, I think was the name, which is horrible bad, but still they do it. Okay, so let's finish up the vote. Yep, 3 votes we have. All 3 are for code. So I would assume let's write some code, guys. As soon as the update is ready, of course. Complete. All the time if I'm making a live stream we are just updating stuff. Maybe I really should be a bit more prepared. I take with me on my wish list how to improve the live streams by not making an update. Let's see if it works. Oh, we should make a game out of that. The next time when I'm coming on in live stream and you see that and you remember this session, then you are allowed to give me 10 push-ups. I think that's fair. And I think for everyone who remembers that time, I had to make, I think, the 10 push-ups, and we are at 100 push-ups or something. No, but yeah, then I will do the 10 push-ups and we don't update anymore. And Mahtab knows exactly how much I don't like sports, so... On every pubget command. I think you know what? I think I start with good example, so that I really will do that. I will make now 10 push-ups in the meantime, so that you have something to see. If I get enough space here. The good thing is, I think you couldn't see anything, so I just was laying on the ground and waited till it's over. I knew exactly that you would be happy, Mahtab, if I do something like that. Or should I wash my hands?
dreams that came true.
Ooh.
Now I'm stuck in California, and it leads me back to you.
It wasn't 10? Did I miscount? Oh, how many was it?
Trying to get to you.
I will do the rest, I promise you.
Now I'm stuck in California.
More updates. Okay, let's do the other 10.
Now I'm stuck in California. I'm just trying to get to you. Same mind, where you going back tonight? I saw a fire in your bloodshot eyes.
So, no, we couldn't design. That was physical education, that was necessary. Yeah, sure? Do you think I'm dishonest here? Let's just hope we don't have so many updates, because else I get like arms like Arnold Schwarzenegger. If this guy even knows someone else. Still. Oof. Yeah, I think that's a quite good challenge, because as you see, I'm really not good at sports and I really don't like it usually. Uh-oh, there could be still an SDK update. Okay, that looks good. Kotlin has been updated. Have some water? Good point. Thank you. Okay, so it complained that we don't have the plugins, right? 50.0. No, seems to be installed. Okay, so it's just really a mistake from Flutter, it looks like. Oh no. Do I watch sports? How do you call it? Not the real sport. I'm just looking esport, and currently there are the League of Legends Worlds, and I'm pretty interested in it. I'm now confused. What is this error message? Invalid SDK hash. Why? So what I will do is I will... Oh no. But... You got also this message from FVM? Oh, that's not good. Let's see if we find a solution for that. And hopefully we don't have to update anything for that. But I see already that we should update the channel better. Yeah. I mean, we have to, right? My team has gone already. Fnatic, of course. Yeah, I think the major update was pretty problem. When the VM prints an error, can't load, blah blah blah. It's because the snapshot loaded is incompatible with the Dart VM. I fixed this problem by the Flutter folder and reinstalled completely. Oops. Okay, so probably it tries to use the path. So what I could imagine is, if I'm sorry for the German language here inside of the Windows, but I hope you know where I am. So we use here this new Flutter bin. Could it be that this has a problem? I mean, Flutter Doctor is still working, right? Paid project related to Flutter. How related? Okay, so let's try Flutter channel beta. Oh no. You can find a paid you can find a paid project. Well, it highly depends on where you are at the moment. Are you already a trained developer with a portfolio in all the other parts, or do you just want to start off with Flutter? What I did as a beginner of freelancing is I was searching for the websites like, I don't know, freelance.com, Fiverr, and how they are called. And what helped me most was to talk with my friends, neighbors, and community. So if you have, like, for example, a hair salon in your community, and they could maybe use the app or anything with Flutter, you can talk with them, and usually they are pretty open with that because most of them don't have access to a very good programmer, and if you make them a good offer, they usually help you to reach a portfolio, so you can start off with that, and usually from there on you can go higher and higher. So then let's check the Flutter config. Okay, the web is there. And now let's check the FVM once more. No, still broken. I can deactivate and activate FVM, I think. Oop. Pub global activate, and I think the opposite is pub global. I think unactivate makes no sense, right? Maybe uninstall? Ah, wait. Ah. Okay, deactivated, and now let's activate it again. Maybe there have been an update in the meanwhile or anything. Here we go, fantastic. So let's hope that this will work, and we go here into the terminal. No. Because we are on a new computer and I have nothing prepared, as always. Sorry guys. Oh, +1. Perfect. So if you like it, I'm liking it. Fantastic. One very important trick that helps me always with debugging such stuff is don't delete anything completely. That's usually a bad idea. So if you think you can just reinstall quickly Android Studio Code, that's not the solution. So Flutter website example, here we go. Code, checkout. Have you ever worked with the GitHub CLI so far? I heard from it, but I didn't work with it yet. Maybe I have to create a video for that. So, oh. No, then I have to just check. No, let's do it this way. No time for the other stuff. So we get that, and I cannot clone. Why? Clone? Now it works. Can we switch to my main drive, which would be D, like Dora? let's take the idea project. I think that's fine. Flutter explained site. Yes. Okay. Let's do it with HTTPS because Max was too lazy to set up an SSH key. Or you know what? Let's set up an SSH key. So I will add that as a Git integration information part of the video. Make a marker. So the problem is I want to work with an SSH key here so that my computer is directly connected with GitHub. In order to do so, you will have to go to your profile and on the not on the profile, on settings, and on the left side you will find SSH and so on and so forth. And as you see, here are already some subscribed, but I can remove them both. Up. And what's the idea now is that we want to add a new SSH key. Flutter explained desktop computer. And now we need an SSH key that can connect here. How do we create such a thing? We go to, for example, our PowerShell, and if you have absolutely no clue, there is, I think, a fantastic guide how to generate them. And the first thing is you can check for existing ones or you create a new one with an SSH agent. So now I'm not sure if we even have one here installed. So let's see. We execute SSH Keygen and you see it works immediately, which is fantastic. And I will move that on the other side because that key is private, right? We don't want to share that with everyone. So defining my passphrase. Let's take that one. Fantastic. So and now we can find inside of a folder that is shown, we find a file, not publisher, that makes sense. Yeah, go away. So here, and this file here that it creates it, if you execute that command, you get these two files here. And one of them is the public key that I can share with you because you wouldn't get any benefit from you. But this file is important, it's the private key. That is the key that allows my computer to connect with the world. If I would share that now, usually you will be able to hack all my systems, or at least the system here locally, because you could get access to SSH with my computer, I think. Something like that it was. I'm not sure anymore, but one of them you shouldn't share. Let's take this public key and add that to here. Give my password. And now you can see we have added this new part. We have read and write access to it. And usually, we should be able to check out that stuff by SSH. And let's see, clone, bring that in. That's correct. Let's clone that. I add my passport. That would be maybe I should do so, and say on this window. Okay. Reverting to default. Okay. Fantastic. And now everything should be here. I hope that was somehow helpful, this Git stuff, because usually in big companies you work with SSH key. Yes, absolutely. VS Code is a fantastic tool if you have low resources, because Visual Studio Code is insanely thin. You don't have to wrap everything, and I think it's quite fast loaded up and everything. But Android Studio, what it does is it really takes all files that are not excluded, like for example, this folder here is excluded, you can see that on the orange, and pushes it into the memory. And with that, you have, of course, a lot of overhead in your memory. So VS Code is the fast solution and usually the one who costs less resources. Why I'm using Android Studio is because a lot of smarts are here inside that Visual Studio Code has as an extension, sometimes, and sometimes not. And yeah, exactly. So Android Studio is a fully fledged IDE, and what this means is that, for example, stuff like Git is completely integrated and it's fully fledged. So it's not just a thin client on top. It is a real production team that is working on that and so on. So yeah, my best friends IntelliJ, greetings to them, because I really, without them, I wouldn't be that developer who I am today. So I can tell that, I think. We have errors in our code, that's not good. The name parameter builder isn't defined in layout builder. I think that's wrong, or? Size config init, I have wrote this method. Oh. Undefined classes. Okay, we have maybe some problems here. Restart, okay. That happens sometimes in Android Studio. Don't know why. Ah, but I have an idea. Because we are Windows users and Windows users has this stupid elevated mode. And yes, Mac has it too with their, how do you call it? Sudo, super admin users, but it's far not that bad like in Windows, because if you are in Windows, yeah, this privilege mode is a bit annoying. So let's try it with elevated mode. And hope the best. Fingers crossed. Okay, that looks way better. This we can change to project, and here we're back again. So I hope I have the emulator here inside, because I added this the last time, but now I'm curious what happens if I'm selecting here Chrome. Say let's start the main.dart. This should be only for emulators, right? But it would be so funny if it opened up there inside. It's really sad that it's just for emulator. Perfect. Oh, I see right now that now my face covers stuff I don't like. Is it okay if I move myself up there? Is that okay for you guys? Or should I move my whoops? Or should I be more on the bottom part? Here so. Oh, I think up is better, then the console is not blocked. Hey Amish, welcome back. You missed nothing. Alright, so what do we have? We have the old website with the old footer. Website is okay, perfect. We have the old website here, and we have our footer and so on and so forth. And now the goal is to at least bring one of the components inside of our Flutter app. And yeah, so what I would like to start with is, I think, the topper part here with that navigation and so on, that we have that in place. And I think that would be one of the main goals today. Then we have like these mocked links that we can use that are URL launchers or routers. And then we could create all that stuff. On the other hand, we could focus on that first. With Skia flag, I don't think so. Is there a difference? We can check the edit config. No, no Skia flag. Do I need Skia flag? Let me check. Flutter Skia flag. Okay. Is the performance bad at the moment? Yeah, you're right. A little bit, maybe. But from my feeling here, I would say it is quite okay-ish. But what I can try, let's do it with Skia flag. I mean, why not? We are for the science, right? Skia. Is it Flutter run H? Fast files here. Trace Skia. Skia deterministic rendering when combined with enabled software render provides 100 Skia rendering. Oh, web release. All right, let's try that. Thank you. There will be Flutter run on the device web. I think we release. Like so. If we run it in release mode, will it be a hot reloading? Or is hot reloading even supported still in Flutter Web? I think they had an issue open for that. Ah, fantastic. What was the flag? Flutter web use Skia. Better debugging. Canvas kit, okay, that seems to be a part of that. Skia backend. But this is archived. Yeah, I have to read a bit about that because that would be very interesting for myself. Just understand how everything works. Okay, but we are back and yeah, still fast. By the way, I wanted to take a look because what I thought is inside of the settings from Android Studio, we have now the opportunity to add the DevTools inline. DevTools. Open Flutter Inspector, try enable embedded DevTools Inspector. Give it to me. Enable hot UI and early preview of prepared. Okay. So, and the great thing should be now that if I'm, for example, clicking on that icon on the run, here we go. I cannot open them. Is it because of the settings of the Skia now? Ah, no, because of the release mode, I assume. Can we left that off and run it on Skia? On the other hand, we can also go to the Windows machine, right, and work on the plate itself. I think that would be also increasing the performance right now. But if it really improves the performance, what do you know what I will do? I think we have still open on the Code Magic part. And log in. This is that. I will bring that over. Cool. And oh. Here we have our website. It's not available. And why? Channel master, project path, web. And we could add here, for example, not only release, but also this Flutter Skier stuff. So maybe if the performance is better, maybe that helps, then we have that in our workflow. Can I run it? Actually, I can. That's weird. Okay, maybe because I was long time not in this project of Code Magic and then it throws these errors. Yeah, that could make sense. That's the cool thing about experimental stuff, right? You never know. Okay, so how do we start with that? Should we start at the bottom and improve our footer, or should we start at the top and bring up our navigation bar like it looks here? Any suggestions? Any preferences with that? I think we can start with the navigation bar in that case. So I have been long time not in the code. So as always, we have to search a little bit around. Okay, block is our business logic that we want to provide in the future. Repository is our backend calls if we have third-party stuff that we want to talk to. UI, I think it's a UI thing. Then we have utils that do stuff and widgets. Size config was for everything that font size multipliers and so on. I think that is currently not tested very well, so we would have there an eye on in the future. And we have our launch URL helper. Okay. Then we have our widgets and screens. And currently we have only the home screen. So where is our main? Exactly, so our main can navigate. And we have a dark and light theme already prepared. That's also interesting. So Provider is absolutely fine to use as long as you don't see any flaws with it. You can try also Riverpod. Block is in this case not the block that you know. Block is more for business logic. It's just a name for this folder that contains my business logic. I don't know yet if I will use the block pattern or if I use anything else, because actually what I wanted to do as a state management solution for me, I wanted to test the good old Redux package, because I work now a lot with, how do you call it? With React. And actually I like the idea of having one store. That is pretty cool to have. But from state management, as you know, state management can be a lot of things, and I created a video for that, and there I talked also that if you have something that works for you yet and you don't find any flaws with it, or you have an architecture that makes it necessary, just stick with it. As long as it works and you are alone and you don't have a team to discuss it, take one that works for you and work with it as good as you can. And only if you see flaws, start to learn something new. For example, set state, exactly. I think a lot of people have worked with set state, and that's fantastic. GetX is simple. Well, you say it's simple. I'm more on the opposite side. GetX is so big and has so many stuff that it can do. So it is far away. Well, it is simple to use, but I'm just not a big fan of a golden hammer, you call these patterns. And if you know, a golden hammer is that you have one thing that fixes all. It's called anti-pattern. That's the only reason why I didn't have taken a look into GetX yet, because it looks too mighty. But I know a lot of people like it, so I'm pretty alone with my opinion there, so yeah. But you can take a look into it, of course. I shared a link. Here we go. And Riverpod is also the new provider package, more or less, from Remy Roslet. So he is creating the same or a better way to work with the stuff. So I can also recommend that. And block pattern is also fine because, yeah, Felix Angelov makes a fantastic job with the block pattern. And if you don't know it, he created also a new book. Or he was co-author, I think is the name, on a new book where he explains all the packages and patterns and so on. So he does a good job in explaining on documentation. Whew. So I switched again the topic. Fantastic, we did it. So we have here our home screen, and I have to go one song further because I don't like that song. So, question. Cool. Good. Okay, and here we have our home screen that has the navigation bar on top of it. Right. Here we have a container with a height of 80. Okay. Ooh, that's not good. And weird. Ah, it's broken already. Yeah, I think that was the reason why I worked mostly with the Windows application, and when I had the chance, then I worked with install master. Let's hope that it is installed. Oh, thank you. Okay, that's new. Slash idea projects. FVM use master requires to run in developer mode or in S. Okay. So PowerShell in admin mode. FVM. Idea projects. Flutter website. Yes. Perfectly clear. Use master. Yeah. Good. So, and because of the command of Flutter use master, we will find now here in our project this FVM folder, which has a link to our master folder. What I will do is I will copy that into my usage, and with that we can use this Flutter version, and I don't have to always download all the stuff. So hopefully, and I don't make any promises, we shouldn't have the need to copy everything again. So out of any reason I cannot copy. Usually I can copy the path here. That's weird. Okay, let's do it differently. Let's say show in Explorer. Oh, it's still an indexing down here. And because of that, we can now select this and copy the whole path. And inside of the settings, I can now use, instead of this, I use the absolute path to the FVM SDK. FVM? FVM is the Flutter version manager. And because, you know, we have multiple versions of Flutter. I use sometimes master, I use sometimes stable, and sometimes beta channel. And with FVM, you have the possibility to switch between the channels and different version numbers. So if you have a project or multiple projects that you are working on, where you have one in master and one on beta and so on, you can use FVM to quickly swap the Flutter version. That will not rescue you from upgrading it, as I did right now, but at least it helps you to manage for each project the Flutter version. I created also for this already a video, so if you search for FVM Flutter Explained, you will be happily finding something, I assume. So, or I can do that quickly for you. Explained FVM. I'm pretty proud on that video, so. So that would be this guy. How can I insert a lot of entries into a SQLite database at once? Well, I would say a script would be beneficial. It highly depends on what you want to have for entries. Useful data or just any data? It is fantastically useful. I highly recommend to use that, especially if you know NVM, that's the Node Version Manager. That was a tooling, also a CLI tool that I used usually for my Node development stuff. And look at that, we upgrade again. Is that a reason to make push-ups? Will be fast, I hope. Be done. Hey, look at that! And on master also version 4.1 works fantastically with Flutter Doctor. Okay, so exited PowerShell, and here we have that stuff. This is working, and we should now be able to run. Oh, I forgot something. Yep. Run as administrator once more. And what we have to do is FVM Flutter config. And I'm pretty sure, yeah. So we have web enabled, but we have not Windows desktop enabled. Let's try that. So we switch now from a beta thing to an alpha thing. So it could be that it's not working everything as we expected. So it's also unstable, but the benefit is that the performance on the master stuff is pretty good. So if you work directly on the device itself, it's usually way faster. For that we have to update, restart Android Studio. If it gives errors, you should fix them. What are the errors, Shane? Raw insert looks good actually. So you have a script for each script async await db raw insert. I really have to make more live streams. It's crazy how often I have to update all the stuff because I don't live stream enough. Do implement SVG as web. Yep. Oh, look at that. There's. Oh, sorry. I read right now this comment here of supporting Flutter Web. And that was very interesting because there is an issue open. And as you see, it's strongly discussed. Someone wants to use this Flutter SVG package here with Flutter Web. And if you look on the bottom, you find the answer from DN Field. He's the owner of this repository. And he's saying that he is not actively working on a version on that. And he says that he cannot resolve this problem without adequate support, without result of unhappy users and bugs over things that work in Skia and on the web. There are packages posted in here that allow for at least some workarounds for this. The Skia backend on web. So that's gonna be interesting. Oops, cancel. But as you see, web has still some flaws that has to be worked on. But I think that's the exciting work that we do here, right? We learn something. Hi Minnow, nice to see you. Now that you are here, we can stop the stream, right? So we are on master, we are working, we are in the navbar. We can now select desktop. Yes, indeed, and we can start it. Even better. But that's interesting. Maybe we really have to switch over to Skia backend and have to hope that everything works well with the web part. And then we could maybe use the SVG files in Flutter Web. I don't need... To be honest, I'm really bad with that stuff, so I have no idea about the Skia backend. Does someone has more ideas? So let's have a look what Skia actually does. It's a graphics library, improving rendering performance. Well, it is the old design, but we have the new design now more or less finished for the first page, and we would include that, but I think we will not manage to do that today. No, that's for gaming. Okay, I really have to read more about this Skia thing. No Windows configured. So if you get this problem that you have created this project with something else, in my case it is Mac OS and not Windows OS, then you get this error message and you can fix it quite easily. Just use fvm flutter and then create dot. And with create dot it will run all the generation, and you see it creates all files that are missing and will not overwrite any other file. So with that we can see that we have now this window folder here. It's asking to always add them. Yeah, why not? And we can push that maybe. Oh, oh, my name, Max. One error has been found. Drawable launch. Ah, that's just Android stuff. Fantastic. And now let's hope that we can run it. Oh guys, I'm so sorry for today. I think we have so much debugging to do. We will not come to... That was wrong. We will not come to anything interesting that it's closing off automatically. Because it's not in the admin mode, most likely. So FVM Doctor. Can we enable switching between channels in VS Code? Yeah, of course. FVM has a fantastic extension in Visual Studio Code, so you can even do it way easier than I do it here. Flutter run. I'm not in the folder. Idea. Flutter. The problem with web is that it's more unstable at the moment, and hot reload does not work that good, and the performance is sometimes laggy. But you're right, actually we could do that. It's just my personal opinion that I want to do that right now. But we can leave that. I'm leaving that up to you. If you say now I should stop with this stuff, then I'm stopping. Flutter Doctor, and we just do it on the web, and then we can work on that further. It's also okay for me. Yeah, here the Visual Studio stuff up. So let's do that. Also for this stuff I have created the visual how to set up all that stuff. I have done that already in my video for installing Windows. Yeah, installing Flutter on Windows. I think that downloads is huge for Visual Studio. I slightly disagree, Mino. The problem is if we work on web, and just because of the reason of web design, you would lose the benefits that you get there. Yeah, I think I will install the Visual Studio on a separate stream. So let's stick with the good old use beta. FVM use beta. I'm in the wrong folder and I'm on the wrong channel, so let's do it here. FVM use beta is not installed here. Yeah, so it's a good reason to do that later if I'm not on the stream. Don't want to bore you that much. Oh, I think the stream was lost for a second. FVM use beta. It's now using it. Perfect. So as you can see, it says now the project now uses Flutter beta. And you know what's the best part of that? If you are looking in the settings, we use now the direct absolute path to this Flutter SDK. And it just uses the version that is inside of there. It doesn't really matter which version there is. So if we take a look here, underneath of that folder, it's just a link to another version. And the version is at the moment, we take a look into the README. Okay. Some weird errors here. I think the next time I work just again on the Mac OS, I think that would be better. Don't know why I have so many troubles here. Okay, but this version down here is now the beta version, not anymore the master version. So with that you can quickly change the versions here with the FVM. FVM Flutter Doctor. Getting again all the dependencies. Good, but it's a good timing to just take a look into the code, I think. So inside of our navigation bar we don't have so much, I assume. So we have a max width container that narrows down the sides on the left and the right to a certain place, that all the parts underneath of it looking the same. So you can see it has a width of 1200 here. Then we have a sized box that most likely will contain our logo. This is correct. Yep, we have a row with our font size, and I think this is our image. And That's it? Oh yeah, that's it, because we don't have a menu at the moment. So maybe this is the next part where we can work on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so you know my live streams will be a lot of downloading. No, Minu, not really. I have a customer who's working at the moment with React, who I try to convince all the time to work with Flutter. But the problem is he wants a web application, and so that is a pretty tough job there. And I still try to convince him. But yeah, as long as Flutter web is not at least in, I would say, beta or in stable beta, where you can use all the parts and the quality and performance is good enough in all 3 browsers, I think it will be not possible for him. And the other projects, well, yeah, my mentorship program, and the rest is full-time Flutter Explained, right? So I'm full-time YouTube at the moment, full-time working on videos that you get more information, and the mentorship program is out. I got some very interesting marketing partners now for the future. So yeah, my Flutter job is to work with you guys, more or less, which is amazing, which is exactly what I wanted. So, but now Flutter Doctor is working, or? Fantastic. So let's exit this one and stick here, and let's see what we get. We go to the pubspec.yaml, and I change here. That's a cool trick for Android Studio if you work with that. You can click on that cog here, and then you have here the open files with a single click. And the other one, which I really like, is always select open filed. So that means if I'm switching, for example, to the navigation bar up here, you see on the left side that I directly jump on that. Do I have any books? That's a good question. Actually, I got an offer from someone that I could write a book, but somehow I don't find time for it. And to be honest, I just don't know if I'm a really good writer at the end. I can tell a lot, and at the moment I'm working more on my blog and website. And if this is once stable and running and everything is good, then I can think about a book. But I just don't know. The question is, would you buy really a book from me? So, and how much would you pay for it? So this is all not loaded, so I assume we have to close it again. You do? Really? Somehow, maybe it's like kind of an imposter syndrome, but I always think I don't have so much to tell, so I don't write books. I know. This makes sense? It's already enough that I'm speaker on every conference that I get. It's very sad that I had to decline 2 offers in the last week because I have too much stuff to do. I think the GDG or is it the Google Developer Group? Yeah. In Belarus asked me if I want to make a talk, and I had to decline. And also the, who was it? I forgot the name, but I got also a request on Twitter who asked me if I could make one for Git. And unfortunately I'm still overbooked at the moment, and I have still to prepare for the cross-platform mobile development summit 2020. Does it significantly improve performance using const with color and edge inset? Good point. Actually, yes. And why is it significantly? Because in general, when you can use const and you can use that often, you should do that. The thing is, whenever your app is built completely, the consts are already fixed in every place. And that means the slowness that you would get there is done during the building time and not during the runtime. And that makes the app way faster if you have a lot of them. And believe me, a real Flutter app with a lot of constants, that makes a huge difference later. How to enable channel switching in VS Code. Let's see if I have Visual Studio Code installed, then I can show you that. That's very easy. So the first, in general, you can do that with the channel switching always in the command line, right? So this command line here is your biggest friend. So always learn a little bit PowerShell or terminal. I think on Mac it's the terminal. Then you can say something like FVM, Flutter, and then you no, don't, just Flutter channel, and then your channel that you want, like master, beta, whatever. It's automatically updating it. That's for the most people enough. So, and if you really want to have some integration, you download Visual Studio Code, of course, and then there is FVM Visual Studio Code extension, I think. No, you just have to install it. I think then it's automatically inside there. Oh, yeah, the other FVM. Pub. I think in the repository they explain how it works. So there is a Windows GUI that you can use, but actually I think there is a Visual Studio Code explanation how it works the best. VS Code. Yeah, so here you have to add these parts into your config file. And with that, you have the benefit that you can just navigate with the SDK and you search for Flutter change SDK command. I will share the link with that, and if you read that, that will be helpful, I assume. Okay, but I switched the topic again, sorry for that. We have done that. Any other questions? Const, I did that, good. So here we have our box, that is this. We have this. I think we don't want to have this padding here anymore. And begun. And let's open the whole thing in Chrome. Go. Okay, let's download the web SDK. Oh, you did? Fantastic. I heard a lot about people who are writing bots with Flutter and Dart, and I really like that. I really want to do that myself one day. I think with Dart you can write pretty cool bots. I think I saw a Medium article who did that. No worries, Noldy. Good luck with that. Okay. Ah, here we go. No? Why not? No context with the running Dart application. Yeah, Discord.js. I think everything with Discord because they have the platform. But if you want to write a Twitter bot or something, I think it's okay-ish. Okay, so as you can see here, the naming has moved or is gone. If we check Figma again, this part. And up here we have now our navigation bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. And the best thing is we can use our new buttons that we have since Flutter 1.20, right? So let's get into it. That we have coded at least some kind. So we have here a row and a fitted box. The fitted box goes till down here. Sized box has a width of double infinity. Okay, to make it spaceful, fitted box. Is that necessary? That sounds weird. No, it's not. Perfect. Okay. So we have that max width container here inside. I want to have that. And what I want to have is like a row with a beginning and an end, right? So wrap that with a row. And I give that children. This is and this guy would be this is aligned left. Okay, how would it look? Oh, I did a mistake. So what I do is I have an expanded here because in my opinion we want to have, like, as you can see here, if I'm scrolling a bit out, we want to have one element here and the other element here. So we have a row with two elements, 1 and 2, and then we can just use this row. And additionally we can get rid of the row of the left side, I assume, because it's just one object. So no row is necessary. So I think I can remove this here for now. We remove that row here. Not even sure if we need the fitted box anymore. Let's remove that too. Let's see where we come with that. Now we have our row with the children. And inside of this row we have another row. No, we first are expanded. Good. Children. And here we have our text widgets for now. So text. Once, yeah, sure. The good thing is that we have set up in one of the previous episodes the analysis options. That was the reason why it got yellow at the moment. So I highly recommend you always to do that. It's really helpful. So, and this does not look like I wanted. The problem is this one needs to be aligned on the left and this stuff needs to be aligned on the right. So maybe... can I align that? No. So let's check if I need to have a line. So, and I think I can pass an alignment inside. Dot center left. Let it be dynamic. But we could see that it doesn't work if I leave it dynamic, right? Because now it's pushed to the left. Now it makes sense, but beforehand it didn't make so much sense. On the other hand, it could be that this row don't... wait, I have to... yeah, sure, sorry. You see, I didn't code it a long time, so this is of course a main axis alignment and we want to have it with space between. Thank you, Minu, and sorry that I doubted. Oh, does it not work? I was so convinced that this would work. So let's check the dev tools. Move that to the right. Get that to the left. I have that down here. Oh, how much stuff we have here already. So let's select a widget. So this takes the full space. You can see it is centered in the center, so we have to push that somehow to the left, I assume. So my idea was that we have space between, but this will not work, right? Because both of them are expanded. So it will automatically align centric. If we don't want that to happen, I think this will not change anything. This expanded, but I could remove this expanded, right? I can just say push it to the left and the other one to the right. Oh, I closed a lot of stuff right now. Huh. Let's see how it works. Okay. I think we have something that calls a spacer. And this spacer has the opportunity to push everything from each other away. And of course it can be a constant. So, is that okay for you, Minu? What is that? I think the embedded viewer is a bit damaged. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but well, down there we have the damaged inspector. But the yeah, we will see. So let's keep that image spacer expanded row. So we will have here our how do you call these? I think we have new buttons. That is outlined button, which has an outline. So this is not what we want. Then we have a text button, maybe. Is this already the new one? Not sure. So Flutter 120 buttons. That's the new one, yeah? Amazing. And just make a double check. Text button. That's the wrong one. Really sad that I don't know the current Flutter version. Ay. Button. Here we go. So old was flat, now it's text button. So fantastic. And they use a child, which is a text widget. And here we can go to our design, which is, for example, contact us. No, let's start with our work, about us, and service, and so on. About us. Nope, that doesn't work. Let's remove that, then we have it in one line. Our work. Services. And block. Of course they don't have onPressed methods yet, so let's add them too. See you soon. Thank you so much for joining, Deepak. It was an amazing session with you. You made it way better. So key map, I want to have a caret. Move caret forward. No, I need copy and clone here. Add keyboard shortcut. Yo. And the other one. And yo. So, and let's do it here. And now we have the onPressed. onPressed. We want to have a function here. Oh, I switched to a language. So, that was a mistake. And we want to create. No. Up. Where is my? Here we go. Finally. Oh, why is it red? Maybe the constant value. Ah, okay, this list want to be constant, but of course onPressed cannot be. But these tags can be const. Or not. Sort child, property last. Ah, the child should be the last part. Okay, yep, can do that. So we mark as much as we can. It's a bit unfortunate. Cool. Oh, multi-carat stuff. I told you that's the stuff that impresses people and the girls. So somehow I activated now this stuff and I cannot get rid of it. Let's see. Maybe here. Oh, okay. So I really have to start up the dev tools once more. See if I can bring them here. They are not positional arcs. It is because of my analysis options. I use the linting analysis options here. And this comes from a package, I assume. And this package is dev dependencies, lint. The package called lint. And it gives the information that, hey, the child should always be the last parameter. It's just how they work. And I more or less said, okay, I will do it the same. So I hope that makes sense. And in order that I don't have to write like 5 times the same method with different positional arguments, what I will do for now is just create one method that get it all more or less. So pressed on text button. And we create the method and done. Void. Happy days. No? Of course, we have not to pass it down, right? Yeah. So does someone know what would happen if I don't pass an onPressed method? What would happen with the button? Make some quiz questions here and see if everyone knows how this stuff works in Flutter. NTG. NTG. Nerdy turdy gang. What? I knew I should Google for NTG directly out of the box. Is it an acronym? Nothing? Nothing. It will happen something. And that is a very interesting part because... Okay, thank you. If you don't pass in an onPressed method, the button will be disabled. That's sometimes always interesting to know because that could help you if you don't want to have that. So if you have the buttons here, you can see you get the hand. But if I don't pass one of these in About Us, for example, now it is disabled right away. Cannot get rid of the debug colors. Okay, let's restart. Yep. And contact us. The funny thing is, it is such an unnecessary knowledge, but somehow in my brain it's always inside. You have been a Flutter dev for more than 2 years. The web implementation is a joke. Well, yes, I would say there is still a lot of work to do. I mean, yep. And less code. Yeah, less code. That's important. I mean, the web functionality is there. That's something you can tell. And it provides a lot of benefits that I can see, that I hope to see more in the future. The only the downside is at the moment just performance compared to mobile or desktop applications it's so worse compared to it. And additionally, I have the feeling that some of the features are not yet there where they should be, but I think they will work on that and hopefully it's getting better. Is there a way to break down the widget tree? It's too long. We come there, I assume, because at the moment we just have so many widgets that are nested inside, especially with the responsiveness and so on. Let's see if we can use that here. And we really cannot use it. Just weird. Okay. Let's see if we can start it up here. Zack. At the moment, my entire content is on YouTube. I wanted to make a course, but it's work, and it's a lot of work. And at the moment, I don't know how to come to an end with my stuff. I finally get some. Hopefully I get some help on video creation, and then we can look into it. I don't know why my widget tree is that large. I think a lot of this stuff is doubled inside and somehow weirdly inside. I have the bad feeling that my widget inspector here is a bit broken. Layout builder, orientation builder, layout builder, material app, scroll config, hero, shortcuts, focus, shortcuts marker, focus marker. Absorb pointer? I didn't write that. Thank you, Gerlin. I give my best, as always. Yep. So. Update.dev tools. I can update them? I'd have to make... I don't know if you have gotten with, but I have to make 10 push-ups whenever I update something, so at the moment I'm cured from push-ups for today. But look how big that is. Yeah, here's something totally wrong. I think it's because of Flutter Web. Oh, here we have the detail. No, that's the whole tree again. Crazy. Cool. I'm happy to see it more often. Taking all the problems the way they can use. Okay. Have to check that. Oh, I'm not on full screen. Cool. But let's bring the last button inside, and because MatHub is also trying to motivate me to come to eat, I assume. So slowly I have to get a solution where I can finish off the stream today. So let's make an outline button. On press we have. Let's use also the same method, because I'm a super lazy developer. Yes, I'm a full-time freelancer and I'm working on a customer who I work 2 days a week for, and the other time I completely invest in YouTube, and not only in YouTube but also in Flutter, because I believe the technology is amazing and I really like to work with it. I like my community that I built up in the last couple of years, or in the nearly last year. And yeah, at the moment everything turns into a big cool path of my life, and I think this is my job now. So content creator and YouTuber, if you want. What I want to write, text, and this would be contact us. Way to go. True. Is that actually an outline button? No, that's a full button thing. How do we call it? An elevated button.
suffer, you will never fade. Baby, I will hold true.
Yeah, that's true.
How can
And believe me, I really like to be a very lazy developer.
so far? One tone, too hard.
On the other hand, it's always easy as long as you don't need something specific or something very, very specific. I think then it's getting interesting. But it's the same if you use always Firebase and then suddenly you have to write your own database. It's always a bit tricky. That's all good. Akobo, get wedge. Wow. This one, this is a Lottie file. You can find it under Lottie file. And yes, sorry, I completely forgot your question. Of course, this video will be available later. No worries. Most likely it will be a bit on the development because it's long again. I think 3 hours or something. So it will take some time for YouTube to process it. Then I will cut off some of the pause times usually, and then it will be there for you. Yep. Whew. Really happy that you liked that so much and that you was here that long. I mean, hey, 3 hours now. So we have that elevated button. It's performing a hot restart, but I have the bad feeling that this is not what it does. So kill it and start it. UI. It rings a bell, but a very long, not heard bell. Okay, kind of Ionic stuff. Ah, UI components. Okay, good. Following native iOS and Android, okay. Cool. I'm from Germany. SMS consent. Cool. Yeah, that makes no sense. Why should it be included? Material and Kubernetes are way better. But yeah, looks way interesting if you want to work with the material and the other one. Large set of rich UI. Yeah, but it's just for the native iOS and Android standards. Have never heard of it, I have to admit. But it looks like pure JavaScript, right? And CSS, a lot of CSS. Oh. Sailor. Sure, let's have a look at Sailor. A Flutter package for easy navigation management. Warning, package is still under development. Haha. I think I have read about this once. I wanted to make a video about it, but then it was in the beginning when I worked with navigation more and more. And then I think GetX was also one of the competitors here, right? GetX has a lot of navigation stuff done. Navigation. Yeah, that whole stuff there. Are there any good Navigator 2.0 packages? Not really, right? Yeah. Okay, back to our buttons. We have our contact us. We have our buttons, but as you can see, they look a bit weird with their spacing. It's interesting that this block button is the only one who has a bit space. It's a good question. I would say we will use the default navigator class, to be honest. I hope at least. as long as there is not a really good reason why we shouldn't use the default navigation stuff. So we have our row, and what I want to do is give them some air that they can breathe. So main axis alignment, dot space, let's make it around. Oh, wow, looks better than I expected. I hope not. I think as soon as we have done this part here, I will finish for today. Just because Matab is waiting with the dinner, I assume, and I have to be there because, yeah, you know. I assume yes. I don't see a problem with the animation stuff because that works like exactly the same. You see, this stuff is working, and also these parts. I don't know if you can see that here. I will make that bigger. But if you go down here, the different parts are a little bit animated and they are working exactly the same, so that shouldn't be a problem with the page transitions. Are you happy with it, Minu? That's fantastic. Flutter. Okay. Flutter web page transitions. No worries, Stefan. I can. That's fantastic that you made it even. Look at that. How you doing? It's nice to see you. So transition and Flutter implementation, page route builder, blah blah blah. So yeah, as I said, I think for web this shouldn't make any difference actually. And what I would like to try if we are working with animations in the future is the animation package from Flutter itself or from Google itself. Out of some reasons, the search of pub.dev is a bit wacky in the last time, I think. Is it not animation? Yeah, this guy, I think. Yeah, this is it. And I would really like to use that one because I like these emotions and stuff that they have done. It's just amazing. To start? Ah. Yeah. There is no way at the moment to become a member of the channel because I couldn't create a video for that yet. I really want to do that still, and I'm still working on that, but it will take some time more just to find everything. It's yeah. Now I have a bad feeling. I think next week you will be able to. What is this style? No, I just want to give that a little bit padding, every button of that. Is it padding inside? Yeah, I think so. So as you can see, if I click these buttons, they get this shimmer effect surrounding it. And I would like to make that bigger. On the other hand, why not? Oh, have you read Stefan's blog already? That's really important to do. He is very active and writes every time all that he has inside. Let me check if I find it quickly. Here we go. Yeah. So he's quite active there and explains all the different parts, what he is learning, how he creates new content, and it's really a journey. And I can really imagine if you're coming from a non-development part and just joining into programming, it's always a hassle, and people are tending, especially people who are from a different, how do you call it, profession, they tend to underestimate their own skills. And I see that with Matab all the time because yeah, Matab was my first mentee, if you want, like that. I managed to bring her into the development part, and she, till today, she still is struggling sometimes to say, hey, I know what I'm doing, I'm good in what I'm doing here. And that's always a bit this is the real challenge for software development who coming from other professions. So give him some credits. Okay, we have that, and what I really grinds my gear is that this part is way lower than this part. It looks like so off. My mouse makes funny noises. Okay, but I would say the navigation looks quite fine. Let's have a look here into that part. Maybe the color is a little bit off. I think we should change that. This is the primary color of that, so we will find that where in our theme.dart. And here we have our new, text button theme. And I think we have the text button dot. Wait, we have opened that new part, and I think here is it written how we can override this stuff. I did that already, so we have the text button theme. Here's the dart pad, exactly. You can't see the button up here, really? No? Okay, so what do we have here? Next theme. Good point, we can do that. Absolutely, Sereja. That's a good point. My video is blocking it. Okay. That's a good point. But we can make that a bit smaller and then show it. So theme of blah blah blah. Where do we define the theme? Theme of disabled outline button theme here. Text button theme. Style from on primary. We can override it inside of where it's needed. The question is now, do we override it in general or just for that one? I think we make it for general. Next button theme dot. No, what was the point? Text button. Style from. And now, is it correct? Cannot be assigned to parameter type text button theme data. No, that's not correct. Text button theme. Theme data dot light dot text button theme dot copy. Is that possible? No, I just get the style. I would love to, but make it proper 2D scroll. Okay. How do I override this new button style? That's funky. Text button theme. So this is possible. And if I use text button theme and create one. And now I have the possibility. Okay, data light text button theme dot style dot copy with. Aha. Complicated but possible. Sorry, Mino. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. So padding, and now we have the primary of color, foreground and background color, overlay color. Let's try it this one. And we need our Figma for that. Const color 0xFF. This guy. Oh, it needs to be a material state property. What is a material state property? Doop, doop, doo. That resolves to a value of type T based on a widget interactive state, which is defined as a set of material states. I heard about that. All right, I see. We have the different states, which is pressed, hovered, focused, and we have to set for each of them a state, I assume, a color. So material state color, a color that implements the state property, which is used in the APIs that need to accept either a color or a state. Okay. So let's see if we can use that. Nope. Copy with, so what's wrong with this foreground color? We have here this foreground color, this part. No parameters. Okay, let's Google that. I think that makes more sense instead of just trying a bit around. So material state color class. We have a default color, a pressed color. My color extends material state color. Okay, so we have to create that in... Oh, okay. So this is a real class. So for example, my primary color extends material color. No, material state color. We have a missing override. Make class abstract. Should I do that? No. Okay, we have to resolve and we need the constructor. Okay. Create a subclass and then implement the abstract resolve method. That will be used to resolve the color in the given states. Just a topic question, off-topic question, sorry. If why we use a package out of pub.dev, can we change it? I mean, change something in the code? That's a very good question, and often this is necessary, and it is also possible, but not in the package itself. Okay, let us take a look. So if I'm going to pub.dev and I'm searching, for example, for good point, Hamish. I will take a look. So let's, for example, take any package like provider, okay? And Remy made a fantastic job with provider and he has no flaws, but he suddenly decides to have a bug. And for example, a dependency of his package is not actual anymore and works not anymore. So now we have to take care of that, right? And maybe in the meantime, Remy is not finishing it or cannot solve it out of some reasons, but we need that for our company, for example. What usually happens is we create a fork out of that. You will find it on top here. And if I would be now logged in, then I would be able to get this fork. And fork is nothing else than a complete copy of a repository. So that means you clone the whole thing, everything. So his commits, his pushes, his information, the history, you clone that into your own private space. And this private space can be now used, right? So, and the idea is, what you can do is, and package.json, no, not package, sorry, in the pubspec.yaml, you are able to give a dependency that relies on a Git package. And let me check, not so good. Let me check if I find it really quickly. Here, like this. And with that, you have the possibility to get the dependency not from pub.dev, but from Git directly. With that, you will be also possible. So for example, you would create a package that you don't want to publish on pub.dev, but you need that for your internal development team, right? Then you would create a branch or a fork with that package that is private, but you have the access with your pubspec.yaml, and you can put the code there. And with this Git dependencies, you will be able to get the knowledge there. How can I add a PR as a dependency? I think you can do also this. I think you can set the Git path, and I think you can also set the commit reference number. Let me check if I find there the documentation for. So I think this is close to it. There's the URL and the version that you pass inside. And I think you can also give the git commit into it. Yeah, here with the ref. With the ref, you set up the path where it lives. So you can get the URL and the reference. Yep, I get that. So the PR has a branch, right? And the branch name comes here into ref. I hope that was clear and works for you. Another option is, of course, you can download the whole package and do it just on your computer, right? This is just a Git solution. The alternative to that is that you just download the whole part and give the path where the package lives. That can also work. Sure, yeah, absolutely, sorry. You see the stream getting late and I'm getting tired. Now it's getting harder to fulfill my duties as link provider. Cool. Up. Somehow I cannot imagine that we have to define that all the time new. And overrides, it's a... To define a const material, you will need to extend material state color. We did that down here, okay. With that it can be a const, okay. So let me check if I can do that. So we have this. We need to define the default color, and we would have here then a primary color with the default color, which is a const. Wait, the whole thing is a const, right? So this will be Figma. Here we go, and add that. No, not a const at all, nowhere. It can't be assigned to type string, integer. Okay, so he just wants to have this part. Okay. Maybe I was too fast. Maybe I can just quickly explain what happened. So if I'm looking here, we get this error message, and here the argument type color can't be assigned to parameter type int. And if the int value is there, which makes sense because the default value, right? So what we want to pass down is just the color code, not the object color itself. All right, so now we have this, and now we have to implement our behavior completely our own. Somehow is weird. On the other hand, it would makes the stuff, of course, way more stable. So we would have, for example, pressed color, which is color or XFF, I don't know. Let's make it white for now. And this is of course a color. And the next color would be the default color, which is a color. And let's make this one black. So FF and then a lot of zeros. Fantastic. Good, 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 good. This is a const. This is a const. What's wrong? Private field could be final. Ah, yeah, sure, makes sense. Let's do that. Okay, so we have the pressed color down here, and I think yeah, just pass pressed color. I'm a bit too fast by creating color objects, I assume, so Flutter assuming that I'm a bit slower with that. What is here? Missing return. Oh yeah, we have a resolve in a resolve. That's not that good. Okay. So let's see what the... Okay. Copy with invalid member on null. Let's hot restart and... Oh. Is it good to use underline when naming variables in files? This underline stands for private in Dart. This means that I cannot access it. If I would create, for example, up here somewhere, the primary color, and I would now try to access something of that color, you can see I cannot. So I cannot access the pressed color. That's called private variable. So because I don't want to use it outside, I don't even allow other developers to use any of these information. So that's why we make this underscore in front of it to make it private. So, is it still broken? Invalid member on null, copy with. So probably this one is null somehow. Couldn't I do just something like, I don't know. Give that a button style. I try to use as many private var as possible. Me too. I think it's also a good best practice to do that. So, happy days? Yeah, fantastic. It didn't work like expected, but hey. Text button style, button style, foreground style. What do we have else? Color. Let's give it the background color, also the primary color. Oh yeah, something happened. Okay, so this is our black and colorful color. So it's the background color actually, not the... I'm very impressed with my solution today. Well done, Max. So we see all the time black. This is the default color. But is that... Alright. Shouldn't do that because the default color is initialized. We don't do that. We just use this color. We don't? No. We use const color of this color, of course. Yes, it matters a lot if it's private or public, because other classes and methods cannot access it, and you don't want to give everything of a class to everyone. You want to make it specific for stuff that you want to keep inside of the class that nobody else can access it. I think we can use it within the same project. Try doing the same in the method body. Okay. So why does it don't work at the moment? So the default color is it? I'm completely confused right now. I can say .from RGBO, but this is from opacity. I cannot access the int here. Okay. So wait. But what I could do is this, or and then just set the default color here. What is stored in the parent class? Ah, did I access the super class for that super.default color? If we have access to it. It's just passing it up again. Okay, you know what? It could store it in some private variable. Yep, that's true. I can just make it like this. So this is the default color. And we don't do it this way. We would just say... I'll do it very dirty right now, but I think that equals the default color. Wait. Ah, this is a color, so this needs to be a color too. But even if this is not a dynamic type, it's an integer. This is all wrong. Yes, I know, but the problem is that a color parameter requires an integer. Requires a dynamic, but I want to give it an integer inside, so he complains. So for example, if I want to return here a color, you can see that this is an integer. That should work. Wait a second. Okay, let me get this super call once more. So we have that, and we call this default color. Creating this. And of course, this. Why is it red? It's final, that makes sense. And of course it's not a color, it's an int. And you are also this dot default color. We remove all of that. Okay, that works. So and here in this we just use the default color. Whew. Finally. Let's run that once more, and then I have to run. Too many positional. Yeah, that makes sense, because this is of course now default color and should work now. Are you happy now? Sorry. Always if you sit here on this side, sometimes the easiest stuff don't come to your mind. Yeah, true. There's a reason why we love coffee, right? That we can run to the next coffee machine every 15 minutes. Good. Looks ugly, but I think it does what it should be. And the biggest problem is that I'm a little bit silly because this is not a text button theme. We want to actually update this here. And this is the elevate button theme, and this gets an elevate button theme, I assume, later. Okay. Yeah, way better. Okay, we have to update the click event, of course, which should do something else than getting hidden. But this is that part, and what we can do in the meanwhile is just keep the same and just keep it like that. Fantastic. Look at that, how beautiful it is. Okay, so what I will do is the last section for today is we will create a test for that, and you told me I should move the theme into utils just to make it cleaner, and let me guess, I think that's a good option for now. And inside of the test, I will create a new folder, and then we have something to do for the next time. Utils and new file we call theme._test.dart, and here we make a big fat to do. Create a fancy test for the theme.dart. Amazing. So I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining for today. It was a fantastic session. We had a lot to do, a lot to talk about, and I think we managed to come very far, at least with the design here. So thank you very much for joining me and helping me to discover the next steps. It was fantastic. I'm really looking forward for the next live stream. I cannot tell you when it is because I don't know. And yeah, so hopefully we see us the next time. Bye. Thank you. I will.